Now I'd like to go to our next presenter from JICA, Mr. Kimio Takeya.
Thank you very much. My name is Takeya, and can you change my screen? I'm going to explain a little bit about the JICA experience and what we are planning now for the coming HFA2. As I prepared for the HFA2, okay, this is the HFA2. HFA1, you already know in here is the risk information is listed as an action plan, one of the most important action plan. So based on these priority for action, many countries or many donors try to identify the risk. But anyhow, I try to explain more about the JICA overseas official development support, a little bit about. Maybe you don't know, but according to the World Bank report, JICA is Japan is the biggest disaster risk reduction donor in the world. And more than 28% of the whole support done by the Japan government and through the JICA facility. And the second is World Bank. So these two agencies is accumulated more than half of the world support. And another support is, as you know, very small portion. Okay, that is our appeal. and still, even that, the emergency response and recovery is most of the portion. So not to invest it before the disaster. This is our very, very serious issue. So even okay, later I will show. So by this, JICA mainly investing for the reduce the risk. So this is priority number 1 to 5 of the existing HFA. Please read HFA once again. Before we are coming to the next year and the Sender Conference, we are set up the HFA2. But the priority number 4, reduce the risk. This is the most important, we believe, definitely. So example of practical risk assessment case, understanding the risk based on the scientific evidence. This is a very important thing, not the image, but based on the scientific evidence. So, for example, for the earthquake case, we set up the scenario earthquake based on the fault, which plate move and which not in Japan, but also Turkey or Peru, and also set up the design fault which caused the earthquake, and then put up some series of a scenario earthquake, and then finally, the peak ground, we distribute the peak ground acceleration map. And this is based on the earthquake, how long from the epicenter, and how about the ground condition, how about the surface soil condition, and the surface of the shape of the ground. And then finally, we reach to the acceleration distribution map. This is quite a simple common sense of Japanese engineer, but not common sense in the world. So this is very precise. Japan is always try to set up the evidence-based, scientific fact-based, but unfortunately, some project I found that just how long from the epicenter, very simple, but not the scientifically correct. So this is one of the very important Japanese, and based on this, we set up the building a damage curve, and also try to set up the like a macro zoning. This is the damage of the building. So based on this kind of risk assessment, we try to set up the adapt for the risk or response plan or transportation or anti-earthquake hospital and so on, and also prepare, mitigate the risk, so urban planning and building code and education and so on. So final goal is disaster risk reduction. Just that assessment is just a starting point. And also, let's talk about a little bit about detail. Requested various application and dataset standardization there is. For example, monitoring system, for example, risk mapping and flood forecast and open data streaming or GIS database and open dataset. We are talking about how to realize in the developed country this kind of open data set. And also consider time span. If it takes 10 years, not appropriate for us. Maybe we need some period span to realize it on the ground, and with data preparation and DRR implementation. This is the final goal. So from the starting for the data set preparation to the DRR investment, implementation itself, we are looking at as a project span. So JICA is now preparing how to standardize and sustainably develop the data set. Just starting. But I want to explain a little bit about this kind of issue. Application or data sets like a tip of iceberg. So like application is, you can see, for example, risk mapping. There is plenty of items submerged in the water. So subsystems, and also like a relational database or XML, by the XML database, this is kind of architecture of the IT or database. And also standardization of data structure and the standardization of system architecture, and also a guideline for data stock and management and operation guideline to each field, and legal preparation and the human resource development program practice. There are so many layers which can realize the open data set and application. So this iceberg uplifted by the communication infrastructure and IT maturity of the society. And this kind of human resource and data set is fortune, has a long span value. But this kind of subsystem depends on the market mechanism, spirally updated. Now we use the XML, but 10 years ago we the client-server system, now web system and so on. So we must think about the most important portion is under the seawater. So this is our wonderful concept. And compare application to the tree like this. This is, and the trunk is like a standardization of system architecture or standardization of data structure and so on. And so flood risk map or earthquake risk map and this kind of application can be the leaf of the tree. Okay. And so this means, so when we start to support by the official government support, but within few years, such a kind of application will obsolete within a few years. So how to? So data and human resource, then that can be sustainably growth by their own government resources. This kind of concept is very important, we believe. Okay, so I just passed the practical knowledge case. But anyhow, for example, based on this kind of risk mapping, we prepare for the new urban plan for the anti-earthquake like Tokyo already. But not only this kind of urban planning itself, but we need more practical knowledge. For example, we set up a safe hospital case. Just not like a mapping, but we must know how to really prepare for the equipment of earthquake, like what happened for the earthquake time. So this kind of practical knowledge is very important, not only the mapping, but also more multi-layer of knowledge to prepare for the future. So, okay, I will pass it. So for the Philippine case, how risk assessment directly connected to the government policy? We already, based on the scientific evidence, now land use plan is proposed from Japan, no-build zone or rural control zone and the safe zone, like this. So this kind of issue is discussed with the very top level of the government, directly based on the hazard risk mapping. So, and realized on the ground. So, okay, I will pass it. And leadership is very important in order to, okay, 1 minute more. And already this kind of build back better concept is appear in the government plan. So this is very important. Very quick short-term case after the disaster. We must very quick assessment and reply to the government policy and realize it on the ground. So, okay, now, my time is giving me that. Okay, now we are facing HFA2 and MDG goal must be combined next year in the April, March. So with the sustainable development goals. So in this paper, I have this is a discussion issue, debate issue. In this paper, there is already page 8 also about risk transfer. Prepare open database to support market for financial risk transfer. I'm very opposite of this. So we cannot reduce the risk by the risk transfer. First, we must try to reduce the risk. And then the final solution, risk transfer exists. So we donor concentrate to reduce the risk first. So this is my opinion. So based on this, our main purpose for the HFA2 is importance of pre-disaster prevention and mitigation investment. And then importance of in order to realize this, importance of the central government role. And then as a second best selection, use the disaster as a trigger to build back better. And personal opinion, risk transfer is the final choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Takeya. That was an excellent presentation. And so Mr. Takeya, he made 2 or 3 very important points. First is that evidence and scientific base is very important. OPA data is very important for DRR implementation. And standardization of the various data sets, but also that it's all part of a package of disaster risk reduction.